Yeah, round 8 was a bad week. Scored 2,113, and with the ranking slide, we're pretty much where we were a couple weeks ago. So a slight setback, but we move on. Defense was led by Rory Laird, good to see him with a big ton. Lloyd was great, Short and Stewart fine. Ridley been disappointing since trading him in. Cozzy quite disappointing, expected a lot more against an injured West Coast defence. Couldn't trade in Frederick because he was dropped and eventually named as medical sub. So instead we went with Murphy. He was going pretty well actually, and then of course gets subbed out with concussion. Real tough luck this year with the rookies. And Highmore, DNP, what else is new? While everyone else gets to celebrate some big tons from their premium mids, this midfield put up a stinker, and pretty much was the difference between my shocking score and everyone else who's done a lot better. McRae as captain didn't fire, Walsh well below the usual, Clary put the rest of this midfield on his back, Petrarca quite frustrating, particularly the fourth quarter, considering it was clutch time and he didn't do much. He had 5 frees against and 10 clangers overall. Sounding like a broken record at this point, but he's just gotta clean up the ball use because these consistent clangers, just real frustrating to see. And Brayshaw, just the 70, no good at all. The rookies though, Powell was fine, Jordan great again, Scott very nice surprise this. It was looking like the past couple of weeks where he had a big first quarter and he'd disappear for the rest of the game, but not this time. A big finish to the game, gets an 85, real valuable cash gen in a year where we need it badly, so thank goodness for Anthony Scott. And that bench, 3 DNPs. Not what we want to see at all. Finn McRae gets played out of position, isn't able to do much, and gets dropped. What's the point of playing the kids if you're not even going to play them in their best role? I don't know. Grundy and Gorn both good, nothing much to look into there. Flynn, real disappointing that he's not number 1 ruck anymore. It would be great if we just got one more price rise from him, but at this point I might have to put him on the chopping block next week. And the forward line, Zeeble, performance-wise, bit of a weird game from him. Did plenty of good, but had a couple of standout moments he'd rather forget. SuperCoach-wise, 111's very good. Impy was great. Dusty looking like a terrible trade-in. Got the 120 from him the first week I had him, and since then, very underwhelming. Good on you if you didn't start him or trade him in, because now you'll be able to get him at around 400k. I stuck with the Aaron Hall trade-in, and he was a massive seagull. 37 touches, 925 meters gained, unbelievable. And a 113 to top it off. Great stuff. Warner was okay. He's plateaued around this 330k mark. He's been a fine on-field option, but with the trade plan I have now, he might be on the chopping block. We'll see. And McCreary, real disappointing to be honest. Only the 4 touches against a North side that was under a lot of pressure in defense. Expected a lot more from Bro this game. And on the bench, Harry Jones. A couple of goals in the fourth quarter, got his score up to a 60, and his break-even's in the negatives now, so that's really good. It was always going to be a tough week with everyone else having the likes of Merritt, Bont, Mitchell, Taranto, Guthrie, Lyons even. And here I am with Petrarca and Brayshaw. A couple of those guys I just mentioned almost outscored these two. So there you go. But we move on to trades. I'm moving Operation Get Jack Steele to the side. Hopefully Geelong can shut him down and he can drop in price a little bit more. It's a tough decision for trades this week because there's so many rookies available, but after this week, we don't really have much. So going double down is very much in consideration, but at the same time, we've got to get rookies off the field as soon as possible. So it's tricky trying to find that balance. The trade scenario I have in mind at the moment is Brockman out, as well as Warner. Not 100% on doing this as of yet. Brockman could get named and I'd have to reverse. Warner's been a reliable field option, plus he has Collingwood this week, so that's why I'm not 100% on trading him out either. But I could go Warner to Poulter, who was very good against North. And then for Warner, I'd bring in Tom Mitchell. Obviously, there's been a fair few question marks on Mitchell. He's had a few games with plenty of touches, but not much reward. So there is that element of risk in picking him. But at the same time, for what he can do at this price, he's still pretty good value. Not as good as last week, but still good value. He also fits my buy structure, because at this stage I don't have a mid who has the round 12 buy, so Mitchell fills that void. Guthrie's out of reach. There's also Josh Kelly, but I'd like to see how he goes with a fully healthy Giants team. Plus he is a bit more injury prone, so there is that element of risk to picking Kelly. I'm pretty sure Mitchell did this last year too. Of course he was coming back from a long-term injury, but he started off a little bit slow last year. You probably thought, is he that top tier premium? And then he went bang during the second half of the season. So if I do commit to trading him in, I've got confidence that he can really turn it up during the second half of the year and be a very important premium to have. So I don't mind this trade in, not 100% on it. I'll definitely bring in Poulter. The good thing about all these question marks surrounding the rookies is that we can find out answers on Thursday night, because finally it's back. Thursday night teams, about time. But I'm just going to go with this. For now, that is. We'll see Thursday night. I might reverse depending on who's named and all that stuff. But Brockman and Warner to Poulter and Mitchell leaves me with 46.5k in the bank. That's also an area of concern, just the 46k in the bank. But I do still have Flynn to cash in, Powell and Jordan making us some great cash. Scott as well. Jones even with a negative break even. Cozzie's break even's gone up now, so hopefully he can kick a bag against North and kickstart things, or at least plateau. Don't want him dropping too much, because Whitfield's set to drop a fair bit now. That will be a nice trade to make, Cozzy to Whitfield eventually. Weird situation with Murphy too. He got subbed out due to concussion, but only got subbed because of his history. He passed his concussion test and he hasn't officially been ruled out yet. I'm still assuming he won't play because it's concussion, but he hasn't officially been ruled out, so that's something to keep an eye on. Hopefully he plays, but I'm not expecting him to. Captains this week. My most reliable loop is Sharp, and he plays Saturday Twilight. Waterman might not play as well, but if he's not named, I'll probably use him to loop McCreary and Jones. I don't want to use him as a captain loop. So we're left with Stewart, Lloyd, Mitchell, assuming I trade him in, Grundy, Zeeble, Impey, Hall. I'll probably go Grundy VC. And then Gorn captain against Pitternet. So yeah, this is how the team looks for now. Like I said, not 100% on trading in Mitchell, but I definitely don't mind it. Next week's trades will be interesting. With only 46k in the bank, I don't have much that I could do really. Might just go Flynn down to a loop, probably Combin. We'll see if that leaves me with enough cash for a solid upgrade, but that might be the only trade I do next week. Definitely want to do something about this Jones and McCreary situation as well. Jones playing well has kind of stopped me from being able to do anything about it. It's a good problem to have though, because that's good cash gen. But eventually I want to get rid of one, keep the other on the bench, and not have to worry about fielding either of them. But yeah, that will probably do it. Like I said, not 100% on these trades yet. We'll see come Thursday night, but this is what I've got for now. Expecting some big bounce back performances from Petrarca and Brayshaw after these scores. I put this mainly on them because those two are the bigger pods in my side. My team goes based on how they go really, and if they're not going well, then high chance I've had a bad week. So hopefully we can see them bounce back in a big way. But that'll do it. Hopefully you all had a much better week than I did, and I will see you guys in the next video.